Hey, my name is Nicolas and this is my Fusion of Light Artist Spotlight. I was like 7 years old, I started taking piano lessons. And then as I got older, I just started picking up more instruments, drums, piano, guitar. Eventually I started making beats. After I started making beats, it was probably only a couple years until I started like writing songs for the first time and getting into recording myself. I had been also a photographer for a long time, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I started taking pictures and doing graphics for like all of the local artists back in Minnesota. I just started going to shows with my camera, you know what I mean? When I would take pictures and I could just go on like Facebook, I put them on Facebook and I tagged them, and eventually we'd start like talking. They'd ask me to come do like, you know, photos and stuff for them. I would like wind up showing them my beats or whatever, and you know what I mean? Be able to develop more of like a relationship like that. I really wanted to take music more seriously, and eventually what happened, my camera and all my stuff got stolen one night from a party, and I had put my stuff down and like I turned around and it was just gone. And I think that was kind of like the sign for me to like focus on this, you know what I mean, as much as possible. I think to get better at something, you have to focus really hard on it. But there is a lot of utility, I think, in just being able to like use a lot of different talents to be able to accomplish something specific. I think focusing on just like one thing as consistently as possible will probably have the best results. Like I know for me, like getting ready to like drop singles and release projects, I think all my history of like using the camera and doing graphics, you know what I mean? All the production and stuff that's also around the music, it's made me very self-sufficient, and it's good for me being able to like create a vision of like all of the things that go into it. You know what I mean? Like the aesthetic. So I think it's been really useful. I haven't been focused on like the visual aspect for like a long time, but I think even just getting back into it, it's helping me inspire myself, right, into like moving things forward. I'd say it's definitely, it's a huge inspiration. There was a period of time where I was like not awake at all during the day. Like I wanted to see what would happen, because I was gonna like make and finish a song every night for I don't know how long, but I started doing this. And this is right before I moved to LA for about a year in like 2021. I would start working at 9 p.m. Like I told myself, I'm gonna make this a 9 to 5, but the opposite. So it was like, I'm gonna start at 9 p.m. and finish at 5 a.m. So I would do that every night. At the time, I was freelancing, so I could make all the like beats or whatever that I was selling people. It would just kind of work out that way. That was like a crazy, like I felt like a crazy person, which was like, but it was really freeing in a way, because it was like, at a certain point, like past like 1 o'clock, it gets so quiet. And there's like this 4-hour period between like 1 o'clock and like 5 a.m. when anybody else is awake, that it's just dead. The new song I'm about to drop is called Takes One to Know One. And it's about parting ways with somebody on less than favorable terms, being in a position where you are kind of like hearing all of these things that they're trying to do or say to you, about you, around you. I think coming face to face with the concept of like projection is really important. I think as you grow up, right, and realizing that when you get into certain things with certain people, a lot of what they try to put on you is really them. And so in the sense of like, it takes one to know one. So whatever you think I am, you must be of the same, you know what I mean? So it's like an interesting, I think, process to go through in terms of like realizing that. Okay, so I have a really close friend of mine named Noah Seltzer. We've been making music together for a long time, so he sent me like this kind of like this idea. He sent me this one. It had a good tempo, it had a good bounce, and I wound up recording it. It's like a sample. It sounds like a sample, but it's my voice, and it goes, he said, she said, he said, she said. Initially, the song was called Allegedly, because if you listen to the hook of the song, that's kind of like the theme. So the intro goes, allegedly I slipped up, allegedly I'm done. Allegedly you spent those nights crying with me just for fun. Allegedly you hate me but won't leave me alone. Tweeting pics with your new man, you still hit my phone. Just want me to know that you never really loved me. Say you cast a spell but nobody ever trusts me. It's just all literally me writing down things that are happening like as they're happening. I have a lot of like real crazy text messages and screenshots from like this person, you know what I mean? I think when things go sideways between, sometimes it's just somebody doesn't want to let go and they try and, you know, whatever they have to do. It's like a weird experience to go through, like a if I can't have you, nobody can kind of situation. Everything's a learning experience, as far as I can tell. I think the main thing that I'm trying to achieve right now is to develop a real relationship with people that would consider themselves fans of my music. Because I think there's always been people who were excited by what I did, but I didn't necessarily provide them a clear, concrete enough platform to make them fans of me. But I think that's kind of what I'm doing now, where it's like creating like a very solid idea of what it means to be a fan of Nicolas J. Scott, and to really make that a very positive and rewarding experience for people. My name is Nicolas J. Scott. I'm a singer-songwriter producer from St. Paul, Minnesota. You can find me at Nicolas J. Scott, and that's Colas J. Scott on all socials.